Okay.
Shae's the douche.
So this is Butch.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Red Valkyrie Presents. I am, of course, Shae the Red, and off to the side is Alex, aka CY.borg Valkyrie. How you doing, Alex?
Awesome. How are you today, Shae?
I'm good. I'm really happy that you switched your name to CY.borg Valkyrie 1/mobile, so we know that you're not going to drop because of your Chromebook.
Indeed.
I appreciate that. Sorry, everyone trying to play bingo. Apparently, you're not going to get a side dropping because they're not on their shitty Chromebook.
Nope.
There goes that space. We are here with the super awesome creative duo for Butcher Night. We have Mr. Charles Holland. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Fantastic. Absolutely. And we have Dwayne. How are you, Dwayne?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me on the show. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Oh, I was super excited. So anybody who follows my Twitter knows that I was kind of ungraciously just tagging the shit out of these two and being like, hi, we should totally talk to Red Valkyrie. You should totally come on the show. They were like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, okay, but your DMs are closed and I don't have any other way to message you. But we did finally work it out, and I'm so happy that we're getting you guys on, and you still have 6 days left on this campaign. So that's awesome. There's still plenty of time for a lot of you guys to go in and back. We actually had one of our members who had just visited his local comic book store, by complete coincidence, picked up an issue of Butcher Night, and then comes into the chat, and I was like, hey, this is who we got on tonight. And he went, you've got to be shitting me. And he takes a picture and he's like, I just got it today. And so he picked up an old school Top Cow version of Butcher Night.
Oh, wow. They're still out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He found it. He found it. It was a little bit of digging, but I think that he was like, yeah, this is totally up my lane. I could get into this. And I was like, yeah, we're talking to him tonight. He was like, what? Okay then.
Well, more responses like that would be good. We'll take it.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Okay, so before we get into the pitch from the lovely Charles, I think that we should check out the very quick and punchy video that they put up on your campaign. So let's give that a gander.
I like the video. I just wish there was some voiceover.
Well, it makes me laugh because they're like, this is everything in the campaign. Boom. And I was just like, yep, okay.
Right,
I definitely
a voiceover. Well, that video was actually done by a very good friend of ours, a designer named Darren McMillan. So he did all of the graphics work on there, and you're right, it would have been nice if we had done a voiceover. So next time, we'll remember.
Next time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so Charles, I believe you were nominated in the rock, paper, scissors match backstage for who was going to give the pitch.
Yes.
So go ahead and let us know, what's Butcher Night about?
Yes, Dwayne skillfully ducked out of that by saying I was just But
Yeah, he passed that butt quick.
But he was smart enough to say that first. So
Yeah. He's smart. Let him do it.
Given the givens, let me tell you about Butcher Knight. If you loved Game of Thrones, but you thought, I wish that there was something said in modern times that had that vibe, then you will love Butcher Knight.
Awesome.
Just as Game of Thrones was sort of an alternative history, alternative myth way of telling a story, so is Butcher Knight. Butcher Knight is the tale of Camelot brought into modern day. And not redoing the story, but saying what happens after Camelot. Many of you know the story of Camelot with King Arthur, betrayed by his best friend and the greatest knight in history, Lancelot. Well, Lancelot was with Guinevere, who Shae is dressed up as, by the way. And
thank you very much.
and Lancelot and many of us wondered, at least I wondered, what happened to them after that. Merlin didn't seem to me like a forgiving soul. What happened after Lancelot ruined Camelot by being with Guinevere? Well, Butcher Knight is what happened. In our alternative history, Lancelot is black. One of the things that we know about Lancelot is that he came from a different land and he had different ways and then he fought differently than everybody. And it occurred to me that some of that could be code for he looked different than everybody and he was different from everybody because he's from a different land. We do know that in a lot of other lands that for example they knew things about science or math that were unknown, that they used different kinds of weapons. So that's, for me, that's the dropping off point for, that's why Lancelot was different and Lancelot was great. He had different skills, different learning systems. So Lancelot comes in, he's taken into Camelot. There's chemistry with the king's wife. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
As you do. It's like, hey, what's up? That's a hot woman over there.
I'm going to go with not getting executed.
That would be my first thought, was like, maybe the thing that isn't going to get me killed. But, to each their own.
Yeah. I mean, Lancelot could have looked at could have weighed that differently. Could have said, okay, there's a powerful wizard on this side, a king on that side. On the other hand, she's really hot. He could have weighed that differently. But Lancelot's bravery extended off of the battlefield, unfortunately for him, and his punishment was to literally lose his humanity and be caged inside a gargoyle. And he was inside that gargoyle for over 1,000 years before, in the story of Butcher Knight, he is able to escape with the help of a witch, and both the witch, Lancelot.
Sorry, Wolverine's comment.
What's that?
Wolverine's comment is, on the other hand, dad ass though.
That better be some nice ass. I'm just saying. 1,000 years as a gargoyle. Shit.
Come on, it's gotta be better than Helen launching 1,000 ships. At least, Exactly. At least it was that ass.
It's the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
There was 1,000 ships worth of people that wanted to get the hell away from Helen.
So wait, her face was so bad that 1,000 ships were like, let's get the fuck out.
Yeah. Helen was a Gorgon. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
So now in modern day, we have Lancelot is now living amongst us, and he's a painter trying to live his while he waits for an opportunity for revenge, and inside of him is this gargoyle, because it took him 1,400 years, but now instead of him being inside the gargoyle is inside him. So he is both man and monster.
So this sample art very much makes a lot more sense now. Where it's hot chick has giant gargoyle beast on a chain, and he's like he's looking like he wants to be like, I will destroy you, but that ass though. Yeah. He's just like, shit, I guess I'm stuck here.
I like the thinking here because it's probably about right. That's probably about right.
I'm just waiting for the dialogue balloon that says, yes, mommy.
Now we just went from almost about right to creepy. Now you get the moment mommy comes into it, it becomes a whole nother.
There's a leash.
Sai does
I'm just saying.
No, look, because see, I've backed this, and I've gotten this really awesome perk that you guys have where you get to write your own message for your little greeting card. Yeah. The thought bubble is gonna say "dad ass" though, and then I'm just gonna frame it, and I'm gonna be like, "Yep."
See, well, this is pretty good. The show just started, and I think we've got a new tagline, one that can really work.
There you go.
Yeah. And see, and you know, if you look through the book, the people who may have seen, we've got a lot of references to that ass.
I noticed.
You know, see, Charles and I, we were thinking this way 20 years ago. There's so many shots there will be no shortage of shots for you to reference.
So I'm seriously like, I was looking through the campaign and I went, well, good shit. Like I could do the redhead because I am a redhead, but that's just wearing a white t-shirt. And I was like, I can't do this. I don't got the time to build that helmet. And then I was like, oh, hell no. She don't even have a top on. And I was like, well, the chat might be happy with it. Shae's not trying to get struck for nudity. And unfortunately, it's not like I'm doing naked yoga, so it can't be classified as educational.
Paint your boobs.
It wouldn't matter. They tried to strike us when I wore a silver shirt because they said it was obscene.
Oh, wow.
I had a silver shirt that went up to here, and it was just all like chrome kind of silver. And somebody reported us saying that it was obscene content and or nudity. I was like,
wow.
I was almost in what was the equivalent of a burlap sack. You are out of your mind.
Well, like as someone said, she's holding a hat. You could have always fallen back on
I could have just held a hat the entire show.
That's right.
And at no point in time taking a drink, scroll through the campaign.
Move it around, and people would have been glued to the screen. No one would have moved.
We would have sold so many books. Be like, if you buy a book, I'll move the hat. Who knows where? Oh my gosh.
See, this is a pretty creative group. This is pretty good.
This is what we do. We come up with new ideas, marketing. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm thinking now what we do is that if we do extend, we bring on this group with all of the ideas we've come up with in the first 5 minutes, and we'll be in good shape.
Done. Yeah. Yes. See, we are here for all of you.
Yeah.
A Butcher Night t-shirt. That ass.
Yes.
That ass though.
that should have been the one of the major perks. We had
right. You just gotta have a gorgeous print on the front with just amazingly beautiful modern day Guinevere, and then on the back it says "Dad Asto."
There you go. See, now we're laughing, but I have to say, over the course of the years of this book being out there on the stands, I have taken a considerable amount of flack for the female drawings of this in this particular book. So,
as a female, your female drawings are amazing. They can all suck it. I'm just saying, out of everyone, okay, female who reads comics, so let's get that straight, because there's a lot of people that got a lot of shit to say that don't have anything to do with this community at all. I have 5 short boxes behind this green screen just full to the brim of comic books. I can have more of an opinion than Karen sitting off in the corner who's clutching her pearls and crying because a girl is shapely and she's throwing a 5th ho-ho of the day into her mouth.
I see. The one
you said that, not me. So
yeah, there you go.
These views are the views of Shae.
I wish when I had to answer some of those questions, I had you with me, Shae. That would have been great. I would have been more than willing to sit back and have you handle it, because I think you handled it a lot better than I did.
Well, thank you. I've been crying about the ridiculous bullshit of people complaining about hot women in comic books for a very long time. Eric McIntyre has a question out the gate. He says, are you guys planning to continue this as a series, or is this a one-shot?
Well, this was actually a collection of something that we did some time ago for Top Cow, and we thought we'd like to see if the world has changed, and perhaps there's an appetite for it now. So we're reprinting this, and if we get enough of if we get enough response, then that I'm certain we would do more Butcher Night. We love doing Butcher Night.
Yeah, you know what would be really great to
that
see.
Book was a that we have. This book is collected, the 4 issues that we've done. This is actually, the story is somewhat truncated from where it was originally. I think, Charles, the original plan, remember, was for about 8 books. Yeah, and it happened during a time when comic books was about to make a change over, and so we cut the series short. So there was a lot of story that didn't make it into these issues that we would love to tell those stories. I love drawing every character in this series, so it would be a ton of fun to get a chance to do this again.
See, that would be amazing.
And actually,
go ahead, Charles.
And actually, Dwayne is soft pedaling it, because we started out where they were telling us we had 8 issues. Right. And by the time I had finished writing one and he was working on one, they said, oh, no, you don't have 8, you have 6. And then once we started 2, they said, oh, no, you've got 4. So we kept having to, on the fly,
right,
figure out how to condense the storytelling. And so it did leave a lot of meat on the bone.
Sure.
Yeah, I hate that, and I hate that that's something that happens when you get with bigger publishers, because they have their idea, their vision of where they want something to go, and that, you know, we always hear about, you got 3 comic books to sell a main publisher on the full series, and if you haven't done it in 3, like, it's nixed out. And you watch a lot of really good, like, I got into comic books a lot later in life. I didn't read them as a kid. I grew up in Utah, and that wasn't, like, little girls weren't running around with comic books very much in Utah. But I ended up finding them when I was in my mid-20s, and I started reading a couple of books, and I was like, wow, this is really cool, only to find out, like, oh, wait, that's it? It was canceled? And it was like, yeah, that one didn't really make it. If I would have known you were reading it, I would have warned you before you started, so you didn't get invested. And I'm like, well, that's some bullshit. Like, some of these had really good stories, but if they had problematic themes, if they were worried it wasn't going to be popular enough, if it was too violent, if it wasn't violent enough, if it didn't have the right kind of characters at the right time, all this stuff got canceled. And I've come to find that while I, of course, have a soft spot in my heart for certain parts that were pro, most of what I like is indie or stuff that never got a chance to really get a footing in pro. That's the stuff that I get more drawn to, because they're the more courageous and creative kind of stories where they really, like, they took a stand and they had something to say, and it may or may not work. And in a lot of cases for the time it didn't, but that's what's coming back now, and that's what we get to see more of. And it's so cool to see. So you guys doing what you wanted to do with Butcher Night originally and offering that as like a director's cut kind of thing would be just awesome.
It would be fun, because I agree with you. I think that the indie market being what it is now, if we just decided, you know what, let's tell the story we wanted to tell, how we wanted to tell it, I think that market is more available now. The audience, people are more willing to give it a look, give it a chance, instead of it fitting into a mold that it was supposed to fit back then. So I think it would be a lot of fun to kind of tell a no holds barred Butcher Night story. That would be that would be a ton of fun.
That would be so great.
That'd be great.
I love it. Our channel, I say our channel, I have an obsession with patches. Like, that you would sew onto a biker jacket, right? And in a lot of these campaigns I say a lot, in literally every campaign that we have on our show, I ask if they're ever considering doing a patch tier or a patch stretch goal, because I have, and so does Sai, we have jackets that have our channel logo on the back in a giant 15-inch patch embroidered with our names across them, and we're covering them in these really badass patches from indie campaigns and from a bunch of these comics that we really have grown to love.
Let me just help you, Shae.
Thank you. So those are our jackets, and we're getting patches sewn onto them of a bunch of these campaigns. Would you guys?
Oh, where I don't. Oh, is it on?
Oh, did you not see it on the screen?
It came on my screen.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. Was the jacket on screen?
Yeah, it's on screen again right now.
Oh, okay. I see it now. I get it. I got it now. Oh, that's cool. Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, so we're covering those in these patches with these indie comics, and so I gotta ask, any thought ever to having a Butcher Knight patch, or as Wolverine suggested, a patch that says "Dad ass" though.
That's an excellent idea. It's not something that there was a time when we had buttons,
right?
When we were going to the convention and why does it look like Charles in a movie trailer dressing room? Because he is.
That's why I'm
happy that you asked it like that.
That's why I brought it up. Is because it was perfect.
All right, Charles, hold on. I'm gonna make you big on screen. Why don't you tell people where you are?
So I am in my trailer, which is on location for the TV series Black Lightning, and as you can see, it's lovely. You get a sense of the glamour of show business right here.
Your door is beautiful.
Your door is lovely. I like the throw pillar. The throw pillar looks lovely. Yeah, I'm hoping that's good groceries in that.
You can see the bag. No, that's the bag that my dinner was in.
Oh, okay.
That's dinner.
The glamour is overpowering.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Past Master Dan says I'm Mr. Robbie.
We should have started by telling everyone that this trailer is in your driveway at your home. And you just out there when you need some alone time.
I wish
I'm on location.
I wish it were in my driveway at home. It's cold in Atlanta.
It is cold. That is very true. I'm in Maryland, and we got freezing rain today, and there was so much of it. It sounds like, those little tiny seed beads at craft stores, the itty bitty little beads. It sounded like somebody was pouring hundreds of thousands of those out just on my stoop, on my car. I had to run out to get my wallet at one point, and I was like, this is mildly uncomfortable and irritating. And then all of it will freeze in a sheet of ice tonight, and then tomorrow all hell will break loose on the roads. So it's gonna be great.
Yeah, sounds wonderful.
And so and here we are in Los Angeles today. There was a few complaints of people complaining because I think it was about somewhere between 65 and 70. It was a little cooler than they thought it was going to be.
That's what I keep my house at, for a nice comfortable temperature. So thanks.
Well,
thanks,
no need
LA.
to complain there. Yeah.
Charles, you have a bunch of people in our audience looking through your IMDb right now, like writing an episode of Walker, Texas Ranger. I think it's hilarious. You wrote an episode of VIP. I think I'm one of 3 fans of that show.
Look at Charles. He's like, we don't talk about VIP.
Yeah, when you start out in this business, you take the job.
I thought the show was
someone
cool.
will pay you to write, you are thankful.
That's right.
And you did how many episodes of JAG? 4?
No, actually, that's just what I wrote. I was actually a showrunner on JAG for a year. So
that's awesome.
So it's just the stuff that I wrote, but I was a showrunner there.
I absolutely love that show. I've seen every episode.
Every episode. So that's
there's a fan. There's a fan. Yes,
showrunner
with Pam Anderson.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Jag, yeah, I actually only did one of the 8 seasons, but yes, I did one season there. It was great. I had a great experience.
Jag, and then
I was just about to say, what was great about you being the showrunner on that show is that you would allow us to come on the set and hang out like for a day or so, and that was a great set. It was a lot of fun on that show.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. I tried getting into acting when I was a teenager, and then found out that even though I think I auditioned for an extra role in Legally Blonde 2, because they shot that in downtown Salt Lake. Because if you squint and you do some movie magic, it can kind of look like DC, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, good. They need a bunch of like tall, blonde, like supermodels. Like, you know, my hair at the time was blonde. I'm 6'1". I was like, I got this in the bag. And then they paired me with like a 5'2", like little kid. And I went, you ain't looking at me seriously at all. Like, there's no way. You put me next to this kid, like, that's just so you can take a picture and get me out of here without me causing a scene. And I went, you know, I don't think that they actually want tall girls. They want girls that they can make look tall, but they don't want tall girls. They like from a distance you seem tall, but if we really look at you, you're like 5'7", like every other woman.
No, she's tall.
Yeah.
Well, luckily, so you were one of the tall women that were actually proud of your height. I hear the time tall women who bend down a little. Who
my grandma used to smack me if I bent down. I learned very early we don't bend down. She would
don't do it.
Straight up hit me upside the head. I was like, all right, damn, sit up.
So as you're 6 foot, your grandma could jump up and smack you in the head.
No, she would wait till I sat down and then she'd smack me for slouching. She'd time it perfectly.
Climb a ladder.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. No, I look adopted. I'm the tallest person in my family, at least in my blood family. So I definitely stand out like I'm very much the milkman's kid.
Nice.
So we have a question in the chat about whether or not it's going in demand. I believe you guys said that that's going to be up to the publisher, whether or not they extend and whether or not they put the campaign in demand, since they're the one kind of hosting the campaign.
So that's interesting. I mean, well, see, I don't even know the terminology, but I guess as far as extending, we haven't heard anything about that. But is that what it's referred to as being
right.
on demand?
So
well, it's two different things. So Indiegogo, when you set up a campaign, you can set it up the duration of the campaign for up to 60 days. And during those 60 days, it will be what's called funding. Now, if you set it for 30 days, which is the default option, you can then extend it for another 30 if you choose to do so. You can also, once whatever time period is up that you've selected, you can set your campaign to go into, instead of funding, it will go in demand. Now, what that means is that people can continue contributing to your campaign and continue getting whatever rewards up until you actually hit the button to close it.
Okay, I see.
Interesting.
So these are all options on the back end that I guess is it Clover?
Clover, yes.
Right. So they have that option to do, and they can do it any time before that timer up top runs out.
I see. Okay.
That's good to know.
Yeah, that is good to know. It's good to know. I guess that there are some conversations that we can have to see what the situation is. But I guess everything for them will be predicated on how well it does or how well things are moving as to whether or not they're interested in extending it.
To be honest, and this is what we tell creators all the time, whether or not it's them controlling the back end of the campaign or not, there is no downside to extending or to leaving it in demand. It's just money. It's just a matter of, is this going to have the chance to make you more money? That's it. It costs them nothing to leave this open.
Yeah, the only reason why I can see that they may not want to leave it open is because when you if you were to close it and go in demand, close the active funding period and go in demand, they get the initial payout at the time of closing. And then it's every 30 days after it will pay out while you're in demand.
Oh, okay.
Right. But there's literally no downside to not going in demand, I guess.
Right.
No, it's you are almost guaranteed to be leaving money on the table.
Yeah, even if you get one sale, that's one more sale than you would have had. That cost you nothing. So
that's right. It would make sense, and I guess in the end, any and every publisher is interested in more money.
Exactly.
Right.
So you just got to convince them that they should do that and get more money.
Well, thanks for educating us on this, because they didn't know.
So before we go into the perks, we actually had a question about the perks, because you have the Butcher Knight signed with the bookmark. There was 30 out of 30. It's already sold out. Same thing with any original art by Mr. Dwayne himself. There was only 5 of those, and those are all sold out. Is there any chance that these are going to get refreshed?
Well, I guess initially all they talked about was the 5 drawings, and so I said, well, sure, if there are 5 people who want Butcher Knight sketches, I'd be glad to do them, and so that's all that we really have ever talked about. We were always, I guess, it seems as though what we always talked about was limitations or limited terms of things. So, well, there'll be a certain number of books, there'll be a certain number of sketches, and there was always a limit put on those sketches. It never seemed to be more open-end or that it would be extended out. I guess it was almost as if whatever's there in the cupboard that we have, let's take care of that. And so that was the only real discussions that we ever really had about it.
Okay.
Interesting. Was this book drawn digitally or traditionally?
No, this was drawn traditionally, pen and ink, pencils that on regular paper. This was before I shouldn't say before, because there were a couple issues that we did of Butcher Knight that were digitally inked. But when we did the run of the book, these four issues were all hand-drawn, pencil, ink, paper.
Wow. Holy
the old way.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's the old school way. And the good part about it is normally when you're working with someone else, say someone else is inking a book or inking pencil drawings, as I had done before, you have to split pages, and there's a percentage of pages goes to the penciler, percentage to the inker. But these, I still have them all, and Charles and I, we'd always had, whatever, when it was printed the first time, we had all of the proofs and the film from it, so we were able to take those, and that's why it was able to be collected this way, because we own the book, so we had all of that stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. So you guys own the IP?
Yes.
Like both between the two of you, you guys can do whatever you want with it.
That is correct.
Okay, so then we really got to talk about doing a full-on, no-holds-bar, like, what do you want your book to be? And doing that as a collected, remastered, director's cut kind of edition, because that would be a bomb campaign. And this, like, you guys sitting here at 1679, like I told you, that's from people not knowing this was out there.
That's from people kind of stumbling on it.
Exactly. Like, I am not even going to remotely joke you. I 1,000% stumbled into this, and I'm pretty sure it was off of a tweet from Tompa, for everyone who's in the chat, who has this amazing ability of finding really interesting, good quality, niche indie comics on Indiegogo, and then he tweets them out, and I randomly saw Butcher's Night and was like, the hell is Butcher's Night? And I was like, damn, this looks cool. And I was like, hold up, I'm gonna see if I can find these people. I started looking up Charles, and I was like, what the hell? Charles is like a producer, writer, does all this crazy shit, and I was like, Dwayne's over here drawing all these hot women. What the hell? That's it. I'm in. Like, I'm in, and we need to be friends now. This has to happen. And I'm going to be the annoying girl that's going to just ping the shit out of you on Twitter and see if I get anywhere.
Well, Charles, when we did this book, the internet wasn't like this where you could, and this is kind of fun in that you can actually talk to people who've seen the book, or who are looking at the book, or who are interested in the book, and it's a whole different conversation than what used to exist, where there would be letters that came in, but there was a disconnect. There's a whole different ballgame than people being able to contact you directly in like real time and talk about something that they've just seen. There's a different energy to it.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is this is in the reason that there's such a huge like resurgence in indie comics is because there's a lot better community than what was there before.
Yeah.
Because before, indie was, if you're not Marvel or DC, you're more indie. But you guys still weren't really indie. Like, Top Cow still had all of its regulations and all of its limitations, and still had its quotas and everything that it wanted. And you didn't have the creative freedom that you wanted. That's the same with every single one of those bigger publishers. Like Dark Horse, that you can just do whatever you wanted just because you wanted to. But this new indie community, we have people who literally have a day job, have 3 kids, and are staying up until 3 a.m. every night drawing panels.
Yeah.
And they're putting out books, and they're pulling in, 10, 20, 30K on really awesome, good quality books, and their dreams are coming true. We had somebody who quit a job as a deli clerk that he hated with an absolute passion.
Yeah.
And he was like, I shouldn't be here. This sucks. And he focused really hard on making his comics, and he got to quit. And now this is what he does, and he does it and supports himself.
That's great. I think
I just want to take a second to say thank you to Comic Talk for being willing to promote the hell out of this. Thank you.
Oh, we love Pops.
Yes, certainly appreciate it.
Yeah, Pops
but again,
awesome.
This is a way of finding a community that you don't have a chance to really communicate with as much, and it's a fun community to see, because there's people who really love comics and love a certain kind of comics, and it's not necessarily just about Spider-Man. I always had an affinity for monsters and monster books as a kid, but more of what was produced was the Spandex Warriors. You saw more of that, and not those things that were a little on the outside of that. So it's nice to see that there's a community out there now to support those ideas that are a little different.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing is the 5 short boxes I got back here, almost none of them are alike, like each other.
Yeah.
The ones that are closest to being very similar to one another are the ones that I have from mainstream comics.
Yeah.
But all this stuff that I have from these indie communities, they're really, really different. And, if you look in the intro video with all the cosplays and stuff that I've gotten to do, they're incredibly varied in what they're covering, how they look, their styles, their colors, their storylines. It's a really refreshing kind of time.
Well, I was just thinking about the most outrageous project we've ever had on. Is it Girl, Shae?
Orgasm Girl, yes.
Oh,
okay.
Orgasm Girl.
We had to call it Girl because YouTube would not allow me to put the actual name in the title because they felt it was obscene. So I had to shorten it to Girl. And I had to change what the title card was, because everything about it's about a girl who's a boxer who at the snap of her fingers can cause men to have an orgasm.
Wow.
So when guys think, oh yeah, you think you're big and bad, and they try to start shit with her, like, she knows how to fight, but after she's got him as a crumpled heap on the floor, she looks at him and snaps her fingers. and then she just walks away and leaves them in a very sticky wet puddle by themselves. Like,
wow. I'm beginning to feel like there is that Cy and Shae, that you guys have had a few run-ins with YouTube.
Yes.
Okay. Just a few.
We have never had a stream, though, removed for longer than 45 minutes.
We did have a stream stopped early, and that was while you were gone. And we still don't actually know why. The best guess that we have is because the guest at one point mentioned finding something at Barnes & Noble, and then all of a sudden, within like 2 minutes, the stream was down.
I'll ask off air. This stream is staying up.
Yeah,
okay.
We're fine. So Silver, his question about the tiers, the reason why he was asking if they would be refreshed is because, you know, the $25 for some greeting cards, a bookmark, and the book might be a little bit steep, whereas the $18 that has been sold out of the book and the bookmark might be a little bit more attainable for some people. Is there any chance that you can think of that might open back up with another, even if it's a limited number?
I think, as Charles said earlier, with us talking to you guys and understanding a little bit more about the way this works in the format and the way things can work, it may be worth a conversation for us to have that conversation with the publisher and see what can be done.
Fantastic. So Silver, they're going to attempt, but there is no guarantee that it will work. Right. Especially with it being 6 days left in the campaign, that's not a whole lot of time for discussion. It'll depend on, I'm assuming, everyone's schedules and availability.
Sure.
However, I'm going to work really hard on convincing both Dwayne and Charles that since they own all the rights, we'll help them build an Indiegogo campaign. They can cut out Clover Press and we can do this the real indie way. We can make this a thing. I'm just saying. Like, we got some conversation off air to do for sure.
This comic is different because it's funny. I mean, I've worked on a lot of the Marvel and DC comics, but the one thing that I get more with this book, whenever anyone brings it up, is, well, why isn't it a movie already? It should be a movie. Everybody gets a movie or TV. Why isn't it a movie already? And I thought, there's no way that we can control anything like that. But it's always amusing to me that people think that it would fit. And I guess, Charles, when you started by comparing with Game of Thrones, that you would think that anything within that realm, that genre, that you would have, that those conversations would be had as far as seeing the project become something more so than the comic book.
Yeah, this is a really interesting looking book. So there's only 2 tiers currently on the campaign. So let's quickly talk about what those 2 are, so people know in the audience if they're interested in getting behind this book, and in making a much more compelling argument for me and Cy when we talk to Dwayne and Charles by making this number jump a little. So for $25, you're getting the copy of the book, which is how many pages?
It is, well, it's the entire thing. So it's basically, it's 4 times.
I think this was. I think this is this.
It's okay. We have a delay.
What did you say, Dwayne?
Yeah, I think with the covers and all, I think it comes in somewhere around 95 pages.
Yeah.
I think it comes in somewhere around 95 pages.
Jeez. Okay, 95 pages.
Because there's some covers and some insert pages. I think it's around somewhere between that 95 and 100 page.
That's a good deal. That is a very good deal. So 95-page book with a bookmark and 2 greeting cards that you can write your own greetings in. I'm telling you, the Thought Bubble one needs Dad Asto. Put it up on your wall. It'll be great. Jason says I can back next week, but they might sell out. We are going to see if we can't convince them to extend the campaign, refresh some of these tiers, and we'll keep you updated. So make sure that you watch Red Valkyrie YT's Twitter, and we'll stay in touch with Dwayne and Charles. And if any of this gets refreshed or extended or goes in demand, I'll make sure that we tweet that out from our Red Valkyrie YouTube account on Twitter specifically, so you guys can see it.
That would be appreciated. That'd be great.
Yeah, Eric McIntyre says $25. That's a great deal. Wholeheartedly agree. Silver, I understand your plight for sure, sir.
24 right now. Silver,
right?
what's DM me? I'll lend you $1.
Right? Like, hit us up, Silver. We'll help you out, hon, for sure.
This is like a reverse super chat that I got going on.
Look, Silver helps out so many in the indie community. Like, hit us up, hon. We'll help you out there. Frankie, thank you so much for coming by. You were awesome. Jason, yes, also agrees. $25 is a great price for all of that.
And it's signed.
And it's signed. If you guys didn't see this, look at that. It is signed inside. Like,
look how beautiful Dwayne even signs beautifully. Look how beautiful his signature is. I've got this scroll. He's got this beautiful signature.
Very artistic.
His art.
You know what? Your D looks a lot like Disney. I'm just saying. I'm just noticing it.
It wasn't intentional, but I see what you mean.
Right? It's because when I was a kid, I was like, why is Disney's signature with a G? I was always so confused. And now I am like, oh no, it's this kind of a D, actually. I like your signature better than Disney, though. So
thank you.
And then the only other thing available currently is a retailer pack. So any of you guys who have a local comic book shop who is willing to take a risk on an already established IP that is getting collected together and coming with some extra goodies, so it's not really that much of a risk. You can get 4 copies of the bookmark, and the greeting cards. So you get 2 of each of the greeting cards, 4 bookmarks, 4 books. So hit up your local comic book shops, or if you have 4 friends, I guess you could go that route too.
How are things happening at the comic shops these days? Are they opening again and allowing people, or is there some special provisions being made?
Yep, there.
Yeah. So most of them are open. I don't really know because the one that was closest to me closed down. And the other one, it feels too much like Big Bang Theory for me to go in.
Okay.
I did twice and then was like, you guys are just very trying in my patience for sure. So, see, and right here we've got Unhinged says my local LCS is open and has been, but not sure on what the sales figures have been like. Silver says that tomorrow he'll grab the $25. Christopher C says 4 books for $60 or 1 book for $25. So obviously it's to help the profit margins within a comic book shop, or like I said, if you have 3 friends, then I guess you could leverage that and save a bit of money.
Yeah, that would turn into a pretty good deal.
Yeah, it would. Definitely. Whether it's this campaign or a future one, would love to see some of those original pages. If you ever wanted to part with them, those would make an amazing tier. Or even prints of some of them, things like that would be phenomenal.
That would probably be more likely. In all of the years that I've done comic books, whatever is out on the market have not been pages that I've sold. As I told you, sometimes the pages get split, and anchors will get a certain amount, and whatever is on the market are pages that have come from anchors. I usually hold on to everything.
Yeah, I totally understand that. And that's the thing, is there's so much that you guys could do with this, because you have absolutely gorgeous artwork and a really, really interesting premise for this story. There's a lot of merchandising that could be done that would be really awesome. There's a whole bunch of prints that you guys could pull from this that would be just phenomenal to throw into it. And I really want to hear Charles Unleashed on what this story should have been all those years ago. Like, that's what I want to know what you would be doing with it.
Volume 2.
Exactly.
That ass though. Yeah.
That ass though. It would Butcher Night, that ass though.
Well, Volume 1 can be dead ass. Volume 2 could be more booty.
I love it. Look, we got Mike in the chat. He says, Butcher and I. Mike is our buddy that found the old school copy today at the comic book shop.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you very much.
He says, this is one of my favorite books, and Dwayne is a beast.
Dwayne is a beast.
I believe Mike and I are Facebook friends.
Oh, yeah?
I think
you might
so.
be. You might
Dwayne
be. I don't do the Facebook very well. I have it because my mom's on it.
If it is, Mike and he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Mike is a good guy. We like him. We keep him around. He hangs out in our member circle because he's pretty awesome. Eric McIntyre says Volume 2, more bounce for the ounce. Or more bounce to the ounce.
Oh my God!
I think we might have to have the series have an open-ended number. We're getting some good suggestions for some story arc here.
Be like, it's gonna keep going as long as you guys keep the puns and the money flowing.
That's right. And I think that also that we may have established that Daria might have to be the star of the series. She's carrying a lot of weight here.
Daria is the modern day witch who unleashes our hero. Or leashes, however you want to think.
Right.
Leashes. I mean, she was parading him around in that print pretty happily. Oh gosh, that's so funny.
she would be the character in our book that has the ability to snap her fingers and there'd be a gooey mess all over the place.
I love it. Oh,
I mean, when he's a gargoyle, it'd just be like some cement dust, though, wouldn't it?
No. That's not true. Not from Butcher Night. It would be fire.
Okay.
Wow. Oh, that's
way
more destructive.
Dangerous. You might not want to do that. He
shouldn't be active. He should lie dormant. That sounds dangerous.
Get that gargoyle some penicillin.
Yeah.
All right, so we have Jason wanting his standard question. So I'm gonna ask, and we'll start with Dwayne and Charles. You think because you're on board next to answer. Okay, if you could be any dinosaur, which would you be and why?
Oh wow. Oh. That's easy for me. If I could be a dinosaur, I'm gonna be a T-Rex. I have to be. I'm gonna take the short arms and all, but I'm gonna do that.
You just gotta go and get the grabbers. Haven't you seen like the unstoppable T-Rex is a T-Rex with the little grabber hands that have the little mouth, like the little T-Rex mouth chompers? That's all you need.
Yeah, I'll take that, but I have to do the T-Rex. It's just it would see. Like I said, I like the idea of monsters, and the idea with Butcher Night when Charles and I first came up with this, we thought it has to be a guy that every part of him looks like a weapon. You can't touch him anywhere. Everything is sharp. There's angles. There's stone. There's nothing about him that has a soft spot. And so when I look at the T-Rex, I think about that. You look at it and it's all fear. There's nothing kind about it. So that's the one I would pick.
Okay. So
it's easy for me too.
Around Dwayne.
It's easy for me too.
All right. What is it, Charles?
It's a pterodactyl. I want to be death from above.
Yeah.
I always fucking love that. It's just that is just you're just hanging out, you're just having a little something to eat, and all of a sudden a shadow falls over you, and it's over.
Yeah,
it's no time to run.
That's right.
That's hilarious that you say pterodactyl. I have two parrots, and one of them loves to really get back to his roots by screaming bloody murder at 6:30 in the morning if he hasn't gotten fed yet. Every day, regardless of when he went to bed or the last time he ate, 6:30 in the morning, he screams as loud as humanly possible, and it sounds like a pterodactyl.
Well, it sounds like what we think a pterodactyl would sound like.
Look, I'm assuming.
I'm assuming because when you wake up at 6:30 and I hear that, it's 3:30 for me. So, holy shit! No.
Very true. Mike says Charles wrote a great story. This needs a sequel.
Thank you, Mike.
That's what I'm trying to get him to do.
I'd love to. One of the things that I love about comics is I don't have to worry about budgets. I don't have to worry about an actress not going to say that. I don't have to. I don't have to please executives and all this other stuff. We just get to be able to do, what Dwayne and I think is cool.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's the most pure form.
Yeah, it's great.
And that's why you have all these comic pros going to the indie scene, because they're tired of having to listen to that level of middle management just coming down on them about what they can and can't say, what they can and can't show in their stories. And Eric, Shae did not just dox her age, saying that she's thousands of years old from back when dinosaurs were around.
I mean, don't I look good for my age though? Like, come on. If I'm millions of years old, I'm just saying.
Wait, you sent me the moisturizer you use. I'm going to use the shit out of that now.
Oh my gosh. See, and Jason, so I'm Jason's editor. He goes, Shae is as old as she looks. 26.
26.
You are kind and very wrong, but we're gonna go with it because it makes me happy.
That's all. That should only always be what's important. What makes you happy?
Exactly.
Right.
See, Shae, when I lied to the woman at the DMV and told her I was 5'8", it made me happy. So stop giving me shit about it.
You're not 5'8", but sure.
Shut up. Wow.
Oh my goodness. 26 million.
26 million.
Thank you. I don't look a day over 100,000. Oh, y'all are lucky that I'm not that shallow where I might be crying right now.
And these are your friends.
These are my friends. Could you imagine what my enemies are like? These are some of my nearest and dearest.
Shae's like, put this user in timeout for 5 minutes. Block.
You're muted for 300 seconds. All right.
Cool.
I'm sorry. Shae got her dinosaur info from the Flintstones, like everybody else.
That's right.
Thank you, Frankie.
But even to say you got it from the Flintstones dates us all to some degree.
It does. I know.
Yeah, definitely does.
Oh gosh. Oh, that's hilarious. Look at this. We're a salty bunch. That's how we roll here. We love her. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Everyone backpedaling now.
Yes,
quickly.
that's now they can make up for the age jokes. There you go.
Y'all are screwed. I don't know what you're thinking. We love her, but don't tell her. Pops, I gotta have a conversation with you again about how social media works.
That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
See, but he was the smartest of them all. He was able to put in a comment, make it seem like it was completely genuine, although he knew it was self-serving.
Super bait and switch.
Yes.
We love her as disrespectfully as possible. Damn! Y'all are just, you know what? You just wait. Tomorrow night is Regen Cycle. All y'all are screwed, okay?
Shae's getting drunk live.
Yeah, well, it's fine. It happens every Friday. All right, so, Sai, do you have any other questions for the amazing Dwayne and Charles?
Not a question, just make more.
Just a demand.
Thank you.
It's not a comment. It is a requirement.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And guys, that $25 tier for that many pages signed with the bookmark. Let's see here, with the greeting cards.
2 greeting cards.
$5 shipping.
It sounds like a great deal.
It is a great deal.
And the estimated delivery is March. Where are we now? 2 weeks from March.
2 weeks, we're almost there. Yes. That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like we got Jason saying, "Yeah, I want to back this." Wolverine says, "That stuff you do more of that stuff."
Yes.
Nefarious says, what about the big three? Did I miss the tree, dino, and pizza? You missed the dino. The tree is last season's, but we'll ask it anyway for funsies. And I didn't ask Frog G's question about the pizza. Okay. So similar to the dinosaur, if you could be a tree, what tree would you be and why?
A tree.
A tree.
Wow.
Let's start with Charles.
The two trees I'm interested. Does Charles? Do you go first for this one?
I'd be a sequoia because they're, just about eternal. So.
Okay. See, I just thought you were saying sequoia because it's fun to say and difficult.
And it's very close to sequel.
And it is very close to sequel. Look at that.
No, he said sequoia. I told you at the top that Charles was smarter. Who else is thinking about a sequoia? See, I told you.
Yeah, not
the duo. He's the smarter of the two. See, I would think the two trees that come to mind. Maybe they're the only two I know, and either a weeping willow, which I think sometimes I'm that, or a redwood.
Redwood.
Yeah. One of those that is just massive tree that you can cut a hole through and it still stands, doesn't go anywhere. I like those.
So they're saying that the tree choices are majestic, that a sequoia is very classy. I feel like you're just saying it's classy because of how it's spelled. Y'all are being funny.
Of how it's spelled.
Right?
Isn't that the name of an SUV or a truck or something? A sequoia? I think it is.
Something like that.
I don't know.
Charles, you got to run and go handle something on set.
I got it. I need to watch a rehearsal in a little bit.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, we'll ask our pizza question and then we will wrap up.
It's a Toyota. There you go. Yeah, Toyota Sequoia.
Toyota Sequoia. Yeah, you're right. There it is. Okay, so the pizza question. What is the best pizza topping and why is it pepperoni?
Best pizza topping. You're really trying to find out who people are. My favorite is gonna sound odd, but it's black olives.
Fair enough.
I could see that. What about you, Dwayne?
Well, hasn't the question already been asked and answered?
It has, but why is it pepperoni? Because we all know if it doesn't have pepperoni, it's an upsetting pizza.
Yeah, that's not a happy pizza. So I don't. I don't really know of a bad pizza, so it can be pepperoni. You can put just about anything on it that is edible, and I would say that's a good pizza. I'm not picky. Pizza is easy for me.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us and talking about Butcher Night, because this has been an absolute blast. See, look, you see it right there. Sad that there wasn't art left. Just backed it. So
thank you.
I refreshed
Thank you.
I refreshed while we were talking. And you just hopped again. So you're at 1739 now.
Nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
So,
thank you very much. Thank you.
Gained a few backers. You got a couple other people who are going to be most likely backing in the next day or 2 or 3, depending on how their banks play with their money. But honestly, this is a great IP, and this is a really interesting concept, and I really want to see more from you guys, and I know that I'm not alone in that at all. So like I said, we'll definitely make sure that we stay in touch and we talk. We'll see if we can't get Clover Press to extend this so you guys can get a little bit more publicity, get a little bit more hype around it. And honestly, if you decided you were going to do what you actually wanted to do with the book, this is a great awareness campaign for, hey, so since you guys seemed like this was something of interest to you and you might want to see more of it, we decided to listen to the fans and we're coming out with all of this other stuff. Now it's not only fan service, but people are already kind of comfortable with the idea, hyped. Plus you will have a recent Indiegogo crowdfunded campaign that has been fulfilled. And so they're gonna know that you're gonna be able to deliver. for people who maybe didn't know you back when you were working with Top Cow and doing this. And so it gives people a little bit of a warm fuzzy and feeling like this is going to be a thing. So that's really exciting.
Well, and it's kind of nice too to be able to do it, to find that there's an audience that wants it, and to be able to supply it for that audience, that even makes it more fun to do, more fun to work on.
Absolutely. I mean, it's invigorating because you get to see the fans right there and watch this.
And if you're on social media, you can even post like your work in progress and get that boost as you go through the process. So,
see, but I'm going to say something that I'm not saying just because we're currently on here, but this type of, I don't know about Charles, but how often one might do this, but this was a lot more fun. This hour went very quickly, and it's been just kind of fun talking to people within a given community who get it, and you're interested in those thoughts, and just even the play back and forth has been a lot of fun. So it's a nice community.
Well, thank you. I'm glad.
Absolutely.
I'm glad.
Thank you for the forum.
Absolutely. This has been a complete pleasure. You guys are phenomenal. So everybody watching, go back Butcher Night. You do have a guaranteed 6 days left. We're hoping we can make it longer. We're hoping that we can put it in demand, but that's going to depend on what Dwayne and Charles can work out. So fingers crossed. Get in on this if you don't want to take the gamble, and make sure that you can still get into something awesome. And poor Charles has to go so soon.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Dwayne and Charles, it's been a pleasure.
Okay.
I know.
Glamour.
Oh, the glamour.
Hollywood glamour.
You get to see that trailer with that paper bag and everyone constantly knocking on your door. Wonderful.
That'd be funny if you hung a sign on the outside of your door that says "Filming in Progress." Do not disturb. They'll be like, "What?"
Oh yeah,
I don't understand what's happening.
that would really be hilarious when the Warner Brothers representative shows up. Yeah.
It'd be great.
Exactly.
It'd be fine.
Oh yeah, the guy that's watching our money. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah.
Right,
I got to go though, but this is great. This is absolutely great.
Okay, well that's a nice note to end it on, with CY trying to get Charles fired. That's good.
He'll have plenty of time to write a sequel. There you go.
Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Thank you everyone who's watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Red Valkyrie, and go back Butcher Night, please.
Thank you.
We will see you guys later.
See you later. Thank you so much.